Hey there folks, Caleb Downing with SDI, and today I'm going to do something with this round right here that I'm going to recommend you don't do. We're going to shoot it. Let's talk about it first before we do it. Okay, so what is this? This is a 5.56 or 2.23 really, 2.23 round that's been out here for probably a year. It's probably been dumped in the snow, and it is obviously rusted and nasty, corroded and gross. And the reason I'm going to shoot this today is because whenever I'm out here, you know, shooting, and other people in public ranges and things, and you're loading your magazines, at some point you're gonna drop a round, right? And you might drop it on your tailgate and stuff, but you're probably at some point gonna drop your round on the ground and bend down and pick it up. And there is a chance that you can pick up somebody's old, not used, but old rusted cartridge, right? That appears to be fine, but you're not paying a whole bunch of attention, and you go ahead and you put that in your magazine. So this is not just for the science. I really want to see what's going to happen. Some safety concerns that you got to take into mind when you have a case like this, that the bullet, the projectile itself, is pretty rusted, and because it has like steel coatings on it and stuff. It's pretty nasty, and the casing itself is rusted. They can adhere together a little bit, which could create a spike in pressure. I don't think it's going to be excessive too much. This is a 223, right? And so maybe with that excessive pressure, it build it up to the pressure of a 5.56, which the firearm is rated for anyway. So I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. I think the main problems you're going to run into potentially would be a squib, right? Or a hang fire. And that's because, I mean, if you look at the primer on there, that is nasty, nasty, nasty corroded. Right? If you listen, hopefully you can hear it. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but you can hear the powder in there. It sounds dry and it sounds fine. If liquid has gotten in here, if water has gotten in here, I would think it would have clumped up the powder and it wouldn't sound like that. But that's what I'm saying. You could potentially have a squib where some of that powder's it's messed up. It's not going to work. It's not going to fire. It's not going to work properly. So you'll get a partial burn and get the projectile part ways down the barrel. Or you could get a hang fire to where the primer's just not doing what it needs to do, and the powder's still just, some of it might be wet, some of it not, you know, might have just been compromised to the point to where it's just not going to fire off right away, and you could have a hang fire, right? So you got to be careful of both of those situations. Or it could just not work altogether, right? Or it could just fire. So we're just gonna see. I'm gonna load this guy up. We got an empty magazine. I'm gonna load him up all by himself. We're gonna put our rifle in a rest, hook up a string to it, get behind some cover, pull the trigger, and we're gonna see what happens. I'm excited to see what happens because this is for real. This could happen to a lot of people just loading up rounds that they find at the range and not thinking twice and not checking when they're loading their rounds in their magazine. All right, let's do this real quick. First off, let's see if it even chambers. That'd be a miracle. Weapons on safe, see if it loads. All right, looks like we got it in there. Weapons on fire. Not sure if we'll hit anything or not. Here we go, behind cover, fire in the hole. All right, so it looks like we did fire. We did hit our target. We did not hold the last round open. Did we eject? No, we did not. So we did not eject, but that's our casing right there. Actually, it looks a little bit better. It's actually smoother, which I would assume a lot of that has to do with being pressure fitted to the chamber. Interesting. Okay, so there you go. He fired. He did not cycle, and part of that could be the fact that this is mainly set up not for 223, for 5.56. This is a Mark 18, right? And it does have a suppressor, so usually he does cycle fine with steel-cased ammo. Maybe some of this ammo maybe it was a little bit less powerful than it should have been. Maybe, I'm not sure. We did not get a squib because the bullet did go downrange and strike our target. We didn't get a hang fire, as far as I could tell. Pulled the string and the gun went off. So everything seemed to work fine, except for the fact that he did not completely cycle, right? But he did fire, and we would have been perfectly fine standing behind the gun shooting it. But there you go. That's just something to note and just a caution. So this is more of a caution kind of thing. When you're loading your mags at the range and you drop rounds, or even if you find old ammo that's corroded, it's usually best just don't shoot the corroded ammo. Just don't shoot it. It's not that big a deal unless it's like actually end times of the world and you have to have that one round to shoot that one last squirrel so you can get one last bite to last 15 more minutes. Okay, then go ahead and do it. But really, if you've got a bag full of corroded, nasty, cruddy ammo, it's generally good just dispose of that properly and don't shoot it, right? Generally, this sounds like sound advice, all right? Hopefully you found that interesting. Hopefully you found it helpful. Have you guys ever done this? Have you ever fired nasty corroded ammo? And did you have any bad stories? Because if you have bad stories, this is the place to share it, to let other people know what happens so they don't make the same mistakes again, right? I, so far, knock on wood, haven't had a bad trouble with this thing, but it could have gone worse. It could have got stuck in my gun. It could have caused some damage. It could have broken some pieces and parts. I'm very glad it didn't, because that's not a cheap gun to build. Anyway, guys, I hope you found that interesting. Hopefully you found it helpful. Cable Downing with SDI. Hopefully we'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya.